Hello and welcome to the homework walkthrough video for lesson 5.04a, independent practice. Writing an equation of the constant of proportionality using a graph. That's what we're doing today. I just had a weird hiccup. Right, sharing that screen first. How many questions do we have? Four? Four graphs? Graph, 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 graph. Cool. Cool. Okay, this graph shows, the graph shown represents a proportional relationship. Nice, straight line goes through the origin, 0, 0. Write an equation in the form of y equals kx, where k represents the constant of proportionality. So my answer is going to be y equals something x. Y equals something x is my answer. Y equals kx. So I have to find out what k is. To find out what k is, I do y divided by x. So we can use either of these 2 points to help us with this. The y value tells us how far up or down on the graph we go. The x value tells us how far to the left or right on the number line we go. So for this first dot, let's zoom in a smidge. How far up on the graph do we go for this first dot? Nice, we go up 5. So the y value is 5. How far over do we go for this first dot? 1. So 5 divided by 1. Yep, that's 5. So k is 5. Now let's do the same math for the second dot. How far up do we go on the second dot? We go up 10 spaces for the second dot. So k equals 10 divided by, how far over do we go for the second dot? 2. So k is 10 divided by 2. What's 10 divided by 2? It's 5. No matter what dot you choose to use, answer will be 5. K is 5. We have to write our answer in equation form, y equals kx, or y equals 5x. That means for every 1 x value, we'll get 5 y's. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Let's check. Yay! Question 2. The graph shown represents a proportional relationship. Write an equation in the form y equals kx, where k represents the constant of proportionality. So my answer for this question is going to look like y equals something x. Y equals something x. To find out what that missing something is, I think I have to find out what k is. I think I have to find out what my constant of proportionality is. So to find the constant of proportionality, I could use any of these 3 dots to help me. Let's zoom in. Any of these 3 dots. To find k, to find the constant of proportionality, we do y divided by x. The y value tells us how far up or down the graph we go. The x value tells us how far to the left or to the right of the graph we go. So for this first dot, how far up the graph do we go? 3. Nice. So k equals 3 divided by, how far over do we go? How far to the left? -1 is the x value for this first dot. -1. So k is 3 divided by -1. What is 3 divided by -1? Nice. That is -3. 3. No matter what dot you choose, as long as it's not 0, 0, you will still get a k of negative 3. Negative 3 divided by 1, negative 6 divided by 2. No matter what dot you choose, you will end with a k value, a constant of proportionality of negative 3 by doing y divided by x. So I don't type k equals negative 3. I type y equals negative 3 times x. I write it in equation form like it tells me to do in the question. Yay, green check mark. Question 3. The graph shown represents a proportional relationship. Write an equation in the form y equals kx, where k represents the constant of proportionality for the relationship represented in the graph. So my answer, my final answer will look like y equals something x. Something x. Here we go, question mark. Something x. To find out what that something is, I think I have to find out what k is. We can use either of these two dots to help us find k. To find k, to find our constant of proportionality, we do y divided by x. Y divided by x. So let's look at this first dot. The y value tells us how far up or down the graph the dot is, and the x value tells us how far to the left or how far to the right the dot is. So for this first dot, how far down do we go? What is the y value for that first dot? How far down do we go? Negative 5. Nice. Negative 5 is the y value. So negative 5 divided by the x value. What is the x value for this dot? How far over, how far to the left or right is this dot? Negative or positive 6. 6. So negative 5 divided by 6. That would give me the answer of, let's see what our handy dandy calculator says. Negative 0.8333333333. Now I think we can just leave this as a fraction. I think we can just leave it as a fraction. I bet if I typed that in, maybe our answer would be correct. 0.830, negative 0.83 with a repeating bar. I think that would be correct. I think the computer would grade it correct. But a more precise way to write it, I bet would be to keep it as a fraction. So let's try that. If you used this second dot to help you, you would have ended up with maybe negative 10 on top of 12, which you can simplify that fraction to negative 5 on top of 6, or to this. Okay, negative 5, 6. Negative second fraction, 5, 6. Okay. I don't know if the decimal with the repeating bar would have worked. I know the fraction way works for this question. Let's move on to question 4. The graph shown represents a proportional relationship between the number of hours and the number of miles. Write an equation in the form y equals kx, where k represents the constant of proportionality for the relationship represented in the graph. So I need to write an equation in the form of y equals kx, y equals kx, where k is the constant of proportionality. So I need to find the constant of proportionality. for this graph. To find k, to find the constant of proportionality, I need to do the y value divided by the x value for any dot on the graph. Let's use this dot right here. The y value tells us how far up the graph we go. The x value tells us how far to the left or right on the graph we go. So let's find that y value. What is the y value for that dot? How far up the graph do we go? We go up 50, so the y value is 50. What about the x value? How far over do we go for this dot? How far to the left or right do we go? Yep, a little hard to see, but it's the number 1, positive 1. So 50 divided by positive 1, that is the number 50. 50 divided by 1 is 50. So k is 50. Our constant of proportionality is 50. Let's check to make sure. Green circle. All right, if you need more help with this question, make sure to let me know. I would love, love, love to help you as much as I can, but not this question, but like with all the homework. I would love to help you as much as I can. Good luck.